question is on enforcement. How do you propose to be the only city attorney ever to enforce existing codes and ordinances of the city? You have 60 seconds to answer. Nuch, we'll start with you.
As I stated at the very beginning of this, one of the things, my three things I'm going to do initially when I take office is restructure it. And one of the things I'm going to restructure is the code enforcement section. We are going to work with building and safety. We're going to try to get building and safety to restructure themselves so they can enforce the codes. And we're going to put trained city attorney investigators in that area so that they can go out. If the building and safety won't do their job, trained city attorney investigators will. That's why you need an independent police force in that city attorney's office to do the things that LAPD doesn't have the time to do, nor that building and safety is willing to do. You need to work on this stuff on your own. The district attorney's office has DA investigators. When I was assigned to hardcore and when I was assigned to the environmental crimes unit at the district attorney's office, I had an investigator that worked with me constantly. He made cases. We went out and made cases. I remember being in the environmental crimes unit and being in a laundry room of a Motel 6 with a video camera with my investigator filming an illegal disposal. The bottom line is that cases get made and solved by hard work, and you got to have people willing to do that hard work, and investigators can do it.
Okay, David.
Okay.
60 seconds.
Thank you. How am I going to enforce it? I'll tell you how. The same way. Here I go again. The same way I won this. Okay. When I didn't have the resources to fight the gangs, I brought in resources that were available that people didn't think you could use. When you go on a raid, you bring whoever you can who's going to be of use to you. So you bring in code enforcement officers, you bring in probation, you bring in parole, you bring in fire, animal control, every agency you can possibly have. I even had LAPD drive up from the city of LA up to the Antelope Valley so they could assist us in the job we had to do. And we were very effective. And we didn't need to get any more money to do it. And this is how I will tackle this problem, by bringing in every other agency that can possibly help us to deal with this problem, and then presenting solid cases for prosecution and getting the right penalties. You know, we talked before about the billboard revenue and why they can just scoff at any kind of penalty because it's affordable. We need to take away that privilege by going after them for civil penalties as well as criminal prosecutions. My time's up.
Noel?
One, again, I think civil injunctions under Business and Professions Code, what we're talking about, and Nuch had a good point when we're talking about a conspiracy here. These people are acting in concert. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The city attorney has subpoena power. You subpoena their records. You get into the bowels of their bureaucracy, and you basically tell them we're not going to screw around because we're not. It's like enough is enough. No more. It's not acceptable. And there's a Business and Professions Code, state law, that provides for a way for city officials as well as individuals as well to basically go in and try to enjoin. That is an effective enforcement mechanism, I believe, because again, we're fighting power with power in that situation. And also, in addition, I think it's important again for the people to recognize and communicate the fact that again, I want to go back to my 5 Ps: practical, progressive, proactive, positive, and principled. Practically speaking, the billboards know where their illegal boards are. I mean, the billboard companies know where it is. Then you get their records, find them, go to the sites, and stop it. How tough is that? Seriously.
Michael, you're next.
Well, here's the thing. The way you do it is you have a leader in charge that understands the importance of code enforcement to the overall quality of life to the city. I've been a devoted public servant for many years. I began my career in public service while I was still in high school, and I did that working as a field deputy for a city council member in Hollywood. And so I know what it's like to work with community members, to be able to solve the quality of life issues that really get under all of our skin the most. And it's a matter of having somebody in charge that understands that our office, in a lot of ways, is like a city council office in the sense that we have to deal with constituent services. And I think code enforcement is a good example of that. And when I'm in charge, my deputies in that code enforcement bureau will understand what a high priority it is for me and what my expectations are of them, and that my expectations are very high, that I expect to be able to see results, whether it's in sweatshops and slums in urban areas, or in getting businesses to comply with the codes and regulations that govern their operations in more suburban areas.
Marsha, may I just add a brief supplement? Can you give me 30 seconds?
10.
Okay. Noel brought up an interesting point. He said the city attorney can subpoena. Actually, we can't subpoena things until we have a case filed. But what we can do as a city attorney is walk across to the DA's office and get them to impanel a grand jury. And believe me, once you start an investigative grand jury and you start hauling these billboard operators' asses in there, you get results.
Thank you. Good point.
Thank you for the correction, Dave.
Question on development.